Hello everyone. First of all, welcome to this video presentation. In this video, I will try to critically analyze the United States refugee and asylum policies in the context of Syrian refugee crisis. So let's dive in. Critical analysis of US refugee and asylum policies in the context of Syrian refugee crisis. The key features are in this video. I'm going to discuss what is Syrian refugee crisis, why US were expected to respond and take refugees, United States response to the crisis, why United States response was so limited, critical evaluation of US refugee and asylum policies in the context of Syrian refugee crisis. Syrian refugee crisis started in 2011 is one of the biggest humanitarian crises of the 21st century. This crisis is the result of an ongoing civil war between rebel group and government force of Assad regime. The conflict shattered lives and forced millions to flee their homes. According to Human Rights Watch, over 4 lakh has been killed and a combined 11 million have displaced either internally or externally from their homes. Why USA were expected to respond and take refugees? Well, as a world superpower, US cannot turn a blind eye to an increasingly large humanitarian crisis of the 21st century, and it also includes avoiding by international law or R2P doctrine. United States respond to the crisis. However, the response has greatly differed on a state-by-state basis. According to the State Department of United States, near the end of President Obama's term in 2016, the USA had resettled 15,479 Syrian refugees. In 2017, the country let in only 3,024 refugees. More horrifyingly, the National Public Radio has stated that by April 2018, the United States had only taken 11 Syrian refugees. These numbers are close to nothing in the ground scheme of over 11 million refugees displaced worldwide. Meanwhile, nation-states such as Germany, Canada, and neighboring states of Turkey, Lebanon, and Jordan have implemented liberal refugee policies to alleviate the crisis. The United States response to the Syrian refugee crisis been drastically different compared to the response from other countries. It was because Islamophobic feeling, xenophobic feeling in the United States, the current state of refugee policies in the United States, and most importantly, the shift in administration and ideologies from liberal to conservative. In this particular presentation, I will only focus on the problem associated with the current state of refugee policies in the United States, and I will try to critically evaluate the current US refugee and asylum policy. First, the amount of time to screen and accept a refugee's application, which is a slow application review process. A major flaw of the United States current refugee policy is the amount of time that it may take to screen and accept a refugee's application, which can take around 2 and more years. The Refugee Acts of 1980 states that application must be screened individually and the applicants must pass through security and health screening, which can substantially delay the process because the timing of the application process oftentimes do not coincide with the validity window that the screenings, and by the time later checks are concluded, the first checks oftentimes expired and must be redone. Meanwhile, while their applications are under review, these refugees and their families must face violence, fears, living in camp with minimal resources and potential die in the process. In addition to a significant time delay in processing application, it is more difficult for those asylum and refugee seekers to apply for asylum because geographical locations makes it difficult to get into USA first and then make an asylum claim. Without a quicker processing system, these applicants die waiting for their chance at a new life. The second problem that need to be amended is the limitations on asylum seekers, which is another flaw in the current policy. Since 1996, the law has required that asylum seekers apply for asylum within 1 year of their arrival in the United States. However, according to the research This requirement prevents individuals with legitimate claim of persecution from gaining asylum protection if their applications are delayed due to fear, lack of information, or other circumstance they cannot control. Third point is the filing deadline. The filing deadline has significantly lengthened the adjudication of asylum cases and diverts scarce immigration court time and resources from considering the merits of asylum claims, which is a major flaw in the current United States policy. And fourth, 180 days waiting period to apply for a work authorization. This policy on asylum is set by the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act of 1996. This limitation has proved to be problematic for refugees and create an economic burden on the refugees and their families, along with creating a strain on the system. And the last flaw of United States refugee and asylum policy, which I want to address, that the asylum clause. The Department of Homeland Security and the Department of Justice have determined that the clock that counts this 180 days period stops if there is any delay in the adjudication process that is required or caused that is requested or caused by the asylum seekers. There have been numerous problems with the implementation of this provision known as the asylum clause, including a lack of transparency in the management of the clock, a lack of clarity and comprehensiveness of the government's clock policy, misinterpretation of the resolution governing the clock, improper implementations of the government's policy, and problems associated with the Executive Office for Immigrants review case completion goals. So that is the end. Thanks for watching.